Granted. Leave is granted. Senator Sterl.
Thank you. I move that the Senate now take note of the report. Madam Acting Deputy President, we've seen a fair bit of unhealthy activity within our aviation industry here in Australia in the last few months, and I want to allude to some alarming figures. Back in February the 27th of this year, Qantas Airways Limited announced an underlying loss of no less than $252 million before tax, and a statutory loss after tax of $235 million for the 6 months ending 31st of December 2013. You'd have to have been living under a rock not to know lately that there is absolute turmoil within Qantas Airways, and I think I'm free to say that because we saw an extreme situation here a couple of years ago when I was at the Qantas AGM in Sydney in 2012, I think it was, and I apologise if I've misled the Senate, 2012, where the board and the CEO and the chairman had all awarded themselves significant pay rises on the Friday afternoon, and then about 27 hours later the CEO came out with the endorsement of the chairman that he would give notification that he would ground our national carrier by 48 hours later because of the threat of Qantas pilots wearing red ties, and it was absolute union turmoil. And how dare the Transport Workers Union had 2 20-minute stoppages or something like that. Since then, Madam Acting Deputy President, the cost to the nation cannot be measured by that irresponsible activity from Mr Joyce, ably supported by Mr Lee Clifford, the chairman, and all the board members, in my humble opinion, who were absolutely guilty of that same crime upon our nation. To think that people that were heading for funerals, weddings, significant events around the country, absolutely no knowledge grounded. To think that people in the United States leaving LAX airport pushed out, and this was reported by the pilots, pushed out off the air bridge, then all of a sudden returned, no notification, unloaded off the plane, told, sorry, you're not going back to Australia and we don't know how long this is going to last. But anyway, we have had Mr Alan Joyce, Qantas Airways, stormtrooping the hallways of this fantastic building, snivelling up to members of the opposition, wanting all the help from the government to pull him out of the mire of some absolutely disgraceful business decisions taken by him and the board. Madam Acting Deputy President, time does not permit me to go into how I really feel. But we did have a hearing. It was held in Sydney. We had representation from a number of people. Mr Joyce from Qantas Airways was there. Mr Gareth Evans, the CFO from Qantas Airways, was there. There was representation from Ms Linda White, who is the National Secretary of the Australian Services Union. She's the assistant, thank you, Senator Billick, whose members are absolutely panicking because they don't know if their job's going. We also had Mr Tony Sheldon from the TW and others. But what I have to absolutely focus on here, Madam Acting Deputy President, Qantas's answer to the mire they've put this company in to drive the shares through the floor, to put absolute fear in the heart of the workers, is to announce the loss of 5,000 Australian jobs. But wait, there is more. When I asked Mr Joyce at the hearing, could you guarantee that there would be no more jobs lost, Mr Joyce, Australian jobs to offshore or overseas, or to making full-time employees part-time, he could give me no guarantee. He could give the committee absolutely no guarantee. Madam Acting Deputy President, time is against me. I want to thank the submitters. I want to thank the senators who were with me on that day and ably supported our inquiry. I also want to thank those who appeared before us. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Secretary of the Rural, Regional Affairs and Transport Committee, Mr Tim Watling, and of course ably backed up by his crew for their fantastic work. I will have a lot more to say on this. I will have a lot more to say on Qantas. I'll have a lot more to say about my thoughts of the management of Qantas Airways over the last 5 years or 7 years. But on that, Madam Acting Deputy President, I'm going to seek, with your indulgence, leave to continue my remarks.
You don't need to do that because we have further